Um, New video for you today. Totally different from ice fishing. Actually, not really, because we're talking about ice fishing baits. I'm going to review and go over what I have in my tackle boxes for ice fishing this year. If you guys want to see me go more in depth with rods, reels, line, drop a comment below and I'll review all these rods, what they're used for, what kind of lines on there, and what baits I put on them. So if you want that, comment below and we will do that in a future video. As for now, I'm going to show you what I've got in these little tackle boxes, as well as this guy here. Alright, so my first box here is my Panfish jigging box. Haven't seen too much action out of this thing this year, but for the most part we got the little essentials. This corner up here, I guess, not just panfish. We've got a couple larger jig heads. Throw on larger minnows or whatever you might encounter on the water that might munch a jig head. A couple different colored ones, pink and yellow. That works really well for walleye, actually. I haven't done this, I've seen it done before. There are some drop shot hooks here for drop shotting for whatever you might encounter, walleye, if you're lucky enough to be in the States, bass, so on and so forth. Up here we've got a couple, I'm not too sure what they're called, and call them mini MIGs. They're not actually made by MIGs, but it's the same kind of thing, but designed for smaller fish, I would assume, in panfish. That tube on there is a Venom Lures tube. Don't use those quite often, but matches that minnow alright. Moving on, we've got some more little jig heads here. Yellow. And we've got the blacks with yellow eyes. Very good for crappie, I've found this year, as well as perch. Then we got your basic tungsten. I think this is a VMC little tungsten head, jig head. A couple different ones in there. These, I believe, glow in the dark. I haven't used them much. They're just kind of another thing sitting in the tackle box waiting for use. And this guy here, I picked up last year for Simcoe. Didn't get around to using it too much because it was late in the year. But we'll get it. We'll get her going this year. That concludes that box. On to the next. So I kind of made it up right now. We're going to save my favorite box for last. This box is mainly for walleye, whitefish, and Lakers. I've got a couple tubes over here. You might be able to see that. I know it's, well, I guess it's a lure, soft plastics, but these are money for lake trout. This actually came in a simple fishing box, but can't wait to use them. Actually, tomorrow I'm going out for lake trout, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, getting into the box, we'll start with some whitefish lures here. We got basic MIGs, bunch of different colors, couple there. For the most part, they're all the same color. This is the only different colored one. We got a larger jigging spoon there, good for walleye. These I'm really excited to use because I've been using the smaller version of these. And give me one sec because I hooked myself. The larger Z Vibers. I believe that's Fire Tiger. And I think they're, what size is this? 1/8 ounce? I could be wrong, 3/16, something like that. But it's larger, but it's not still, look at it compared to the MIGs, a normal sized MIGs. The MIGs with the hook is bigger than it. So, this color looks fire as well. If you guys remember Kevin Wong, he was nailing big crappie on Z Vibers in this color. but they were the smaller version. Anyway, that maybe, I don't know, maybe a big crappie will munch that too. This one we've got here came in a simple fishing box. Looks really good for walleye. Moving over in the box, we'll go to the bottom here. Just a normal, larger jig and spoon. Then here, we've got a couple, I've got more somewhere, I don't know where they are now. Hair jigs. Hair jigs are good for walleye in the summer, spring, whenever you can fish them. Even in the winter time, they're pretty stellar. What do we got left in here? Oh, we'll throw that little Meigs up there. This looks pretty money. Another thing that came in a simple fishing box. A big live target golden shiner. Looks pretty money to me. The camera's flashing off it. I think that'll be good for some big Lakers if I can get into some. Another thing for Lakers. Big old vibrato. Natural colors. Should be pretty money. And then these two up here, more simple fishing stuff. This rattle trap or rattling sinking bait, whatever you guys would like to call it, changes color in the water. You can see that red belly there. It'll appear to be bloody in either hotter or colder water. I forget right now, but it looks pretty money. It's fairly big, but who makes that? Spectra Baits, there you go. And then just another small red rattle trap. Now we're going to move on to my favorite box of all time. Alright, well here's the secret box. The box with probably the most lures because it's the species and type of fish I like to fish for the most. Haven't shown too many people this because there are a lot of secrets in here, but I'm about to expose myself. Here we go. Oh geez. Do I really want to do this? I'd do it for the A-Team fans. Alright, have a good look at that quick, because that's all you're going to get. See ya! Okay, I'm joking. This box is my favorite box, as I've said. It's my Panfish Box for crappie, perch. Haven't really got too many bluegills off of all this stuff, but for the most part it's perch and crappie. My favorite two panfish to go for in the winter. We'll start in this little corner here. Right here, we got a bunch of little Rapala, I forget what they're called, but they're little sinking baits. Perfect size for larger crappie, larger perch. Get munched all the time. This white one up here glows. I believe that's made by Northland Tackle. Moving over here, we've got little vibratos. I believe this is the smallest size you can get. This guy here glows. If you can see that strip, that glows when you light her up good. And then we have another vibrato that I had in the other walleye box. That's the same color, all natural for the most part. That looks good in the water. Another staple to perch fishing, the slab grabbers. The only thing right now is I can't even grab a slab grabber. Here we go. There are a bunch in here. I don't necessarily need all these, but sometimes the fish are picky on colors. You can see I got a green bead in there, red, orange, yellow. There's options, I'll tell you that. Moving up one. These I haven't got a whole much use out of yet because I'm only fairly new to these. But I gotta say, they're a staple bait for crappie. I've watched videos. If you watch Seabass Outdoors, he's been hammering crappie with these little Z fibers. This is the one I mentioned earlier that Kevin was just slaying crappie on. That looks money if you ask me. That's a good little bait. There's a bunch of other colors here. I got a white glow, another glowing one, another fire tiger just like the other one. This one's baby bluegill. They look sweet. See, I've already had that one tied on. Moving over a box. Or a section, whatever you want to say. X-Wrap. I forget what there's a jigging wrap and there's another one. This is the other one. Up here we've got a bunch of jigging wraps. As you can see, I'm not going to pull that all together. Fairly easy to see though. This corner. Wow, I'm really hooking myself a lot today. I've only got one here. And I think this is Travis's. Travis, comment on this video if this is yours. I think it is. I'm missing a bunch of mine though. Little flutter spoon type deal. Money for perch. Haven't really used them much for crappie, but they look sweet. And then top corner here. I've had a lot of luck with these this year. There's a little hyper glide. There's a bunch of different sizes. That being the largest I just had. The next size. And then the smallest size they offer. Really looking forward to using these more in the season. One of my most recent videos, actually the last video, I was using a Hyperglide just like this, but in a minnow color, so it was black and silver. And a mini pike munched it, like absolutely munched it. It was pretty dope. Got it on video. That was my favorite part. Having things like that on video to me is pretty sweet. Like having a catch like that on video is awesome. Like ultra light line lure that isn't specifically designed for pike. Yeah, awesome. And then a couple other colors here. As far as that goes, like I said earlier, if you guys want to see these rods, reels, line, anything, this being the J. Siemens Special, legit 1000 size reel, 36-inch light rod. If you want to see all that, drop a comment below, drop a thumbs up. And as far as that goes, that does it for this video, so we'll catch you on the next episode.